Wait for me. Wait, oh, hello. Sorry, I thought you were starting without me then. So, yesterday we read chapter 4 of Peter Pan, and the children had gone to the island called Neverland. And I was thinking about this, and on the island Neverland, there are some really, really dangerous pirates. And I thought, oh, that's not really where I would like to go. If I could go to my dream island, I wouldn't want to go to an island that had some dangerous pirates on. So, our task today, I thought, could be to write about our ideal and perfect island. So, we're going to be writing a description on our perfect island. So, what is important when writing a description? Well, firstly, we want to use precise nouns to name it and create a picture in the reader's mind. So, what I mean by that, so for example, if you were to have the noun dog, we're not just going to call it a dog, we're going to say what type of breed it is. So, for example, it could be a poodle. We're going to choose our adjectives with care. We're going to try not to use the simple adjectives like sad or nice. We're going to try and really use some powerful adjectives. And when we use these adjectives, we're going to try and put them together in groups of 3 to help make our description more powerful. We're going to use powerful verbs. We're going to try and use adverbs, and we're going to use similes. Just remember, a simile is where you compare one thing to another. So, for example, you might say, he is as brave as a lion, or the house is like a castle. And the idea is to make the description stronger. We're going to try and use all of our senses as well to help us. Before we write our description, it's really important to think about some ideas that we could use. And I'm really lucky because yesterday I put out on my Twitter page a request for some ideas that I could use for my perfect island, and one pupil came back with that we could have in our island some flowers, which I thought was a brilliant idea. Again, I've made the word flowers into a specific noun. So one of my favourite types of flower is the daffodil. So I'm using that specific noun. Can you use and think of any adjectives for flowers? And perhaps any similes where you compare the flowers to something to make the description even more powerful. Okay, so here are some of the adjectives that I thought of. Colourful, vibrant, majestical, blooming, radiant. And for similes, particularly for daffodils, I thought they could be compared to the sun. And I also thought, they could be perhaps standing majestically like a king. So those are the similes that I thought of. Okay, the next noun we're going to look at is the noun beach. And I've just added the word sandy in front of it because it is a type of beach that you can have as opposed to, for example, a pebbly beach. So I do think the word sandy does help us define a little bit more about what we're talking about. Can you think of any ideas about how we could describe a sandy beach and what similes we could use for it? Okay, I came up with soft, smooth, silky, sparkling, warm, and golden. And I also thought for the similes we could compare it to gold, or we could compare it to like touching a magic lamp. Okay, I'm going to be using the ideas that we've just planned to write my description on my perfect island. Now I'm going to write it as if I was on the island now, and I'm going to do it as if I'm writing to my friend and telling them what the island is like. Okay? Now you don't have to do that. You could do it in a different way. You could pretend that you were one of the children in the story and that you're flying above the island and you're looking over it. The most important thing is that you use your ideas to write a description of your perfect island. So I'm going to start off with the daffodils. Now, remember Mr. Pengelly does make a lot of mistakes, so you're really going to have to help me if I make a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to start off with by saying there, and make sure that's just a small what. There are thousands of radiant, vibrant, and golden daffodils shining everywhere like the sun. Okay, now I'm quite happy with my sentence, but I might have made some mistakes. Pause the video and see if you can find my mistakes. That's right, there are 3 mistakes as far as I can see. First of all, I should have had a capital letter here to start the sentence. Next, I've got a list here, so I need a comma, and I needed a full stop at the end of the sentence. Thank you very much for helping me with that. I'm going to write another sentence about the daffodils. In fact, I've already started writing one with the. So, the daffodils dance in the wind majestically like a king on his coronation. The coronation is when the king gets crowned. Again, I'm really happy with this sentence, but can you pause the video and see if you can tell me where I might have made a mistake? That's right, again, I must make sure that I've got a capital letter after my full stop, and I must make sure that I have a full stop at the end of the sentence. Now I'm going to have a go at talking about the sandy beach that is on the island. Can you think of how I might make a sentence using the ideas that I've already planned? Okay, what did you come up with? Here's what I came up with. Okay, so I'm going to say, I'm remembering my capital letter this time, so I'm saying, oh, I need an extra space there, I think. So the island has the most beautiful sandy beach that you can imagine. And I might put, what could I put in here? What punctuation mark could I put in here to make it even stronger? That's right, I can put in an exclamation mark, okay? The island has the most beautiful sandy beach that you can imagine. So I really want to tell the reader that it's really, really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to carry on. The soft, silky, remembering my comma this time, and sparkly sand glistens. So glistens is another way of saying shines like gold, and feels like touching a magic lamp. So it's so special that it's like touching a magic lamp. Imagine you could touch a magic lamp and you could have 3 wishes like Aladdin did. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the Indian Ocean. Can you think of any sentences about that using the ideas that we've already planned? Okay, now here's my sentence. Okay, so I can hear, because I want to use my senses a bit more now, I can hear the Indian Ocean's waves. Move this down a little bit. Calmly moving back and forth as gracefully as an artist. As an artist making the final touch to his paintings. I'm going to say actually the final touches, okay, to his painting. Okay, because it's just one painting he's doing. Okay, so I'm going to read this back again. So it's really important we read our work back. I can hear the Indian Ocean's waves calmly moving back and forth as gracefully as an artist making the final touches to his painting. Can you see anything wrong with this? Have a think. Thank you. Yes, I don't know why I've got a massive capital letter, 3 of them in fact here. They certainly shouldn't be in the middle of a sentence for no reason. And this should be a capital letter because it not only is it I, because I'm talking about myself, so it should always be a capital letter if it's the word I talking about yourself. But also it was after a full stop anyway, so I had no excuse. And yes, you're right, I should have had a full stop back here. Okay, I'm now going to read my work back. Oh, that's gone a little bit too... Okay, so I'm going to read my work back now, and I think it's really important to do that, to make sure that you haven't made any mistakes, to make sure that it makes sense, and also just to make sure that you've put everything in that you want to put in. So, okay, there are thousands of radiant, vibrant and golden daffodils shining everywhere like the sun. Okay, so I've got my adjectives in here, also in the power of 3. And I've used a specific noun in the sense of daffodils, okay. And I've used a simile comparing the daffodils to shining like the sun, okay. Then next sentence, the daffodils dance in the wind majestically like a king on his coronation. So I've used a verb, dance, an adverb, majestically, and again, I've used a simile comparing the daffodils dancing to a king dancing on his coronation. The king's so happy to get his crown that he's dancing away and he's having a wonderful time. Next sentence, the island has the most beautiful sandy beach. Oh, I've noticed a mistake there. Why didn't you tell me? I need here to put, not only this to put is and in here, but also to make this as an adjective. I bet you did notice really, didn't you? But you're probably shouting at your screens at me and I couldn't hear you, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so there we go, beautiful and sandy beach that you can imagine. The soft, silky and sparkly sand glistens like gold and feels like touching a magic lamp. So again, we've got the adjectives in, and we've got the verb for glisten, and again there's the similes comparing it to gold and comparing it to touching a magic lamp. Okay, then finally the last sentence, we've got hearing the Indian Ocean's waves calmly moving back and forth as gracefully as an artist making the final touches to his painting. And again, so we've got the simile in here with, again, comparing the waves moving back and forth to an artist carefully and slowly putting the touches to his painting. And the words calmly and gracefully are adverbs as well. Okay, so it's your turn now. I would like you to write about your perfect island and describe it to me, please. What would be on your perfect island? What can you see? What can you hear? What is there to taste on the island? What is there to touch? What can you smell? Who are you there with? I'd absolutely love to read your descriptions of your perfect island. So once you're done, if you could please post it to either my Twitter page or the Clifton Twitter page, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.